Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my Ironsworn campaign. Today we will be playing session 20. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap. So Albrun was captured by the Varu, a Varu tribe in the middle of the deep wilds, and he has been compelled to solve the mysterious murders that have been happening in the tribe. And so it sounds like these murders have been happening for a while, and this specific Varu tribe has some sort of what's the word? Some sort of tradition is not the right word. Some sort of protocol, I guess, for when these like murders are happening, and justice must be brought. Justice must be pursued, and until the identity of the murderer is revealed and justice is dealt, the Varu have been undergoing the rite of bloodletting, which is where they are cutting themselves on the arm, it seems like, and pouring blood into a central basin within their tribe. They are not allowed to hunt, they are not allowed to eat, and they are not allowed to leave the territory. So a lot of them are like very emaciated. You can tell they're snappy, they're starving. But they can't eat or hunt until these murders are dealt with. Okay, and so Albrun um, investigated the most recent murder victim, Zlat, who had an ancient spearhead next to him. This spearhead, it's kind of surrounded with rock. It seems almost like more of a rock than it is a spearhead with how old it is. Apparently, it belonged. We went to the spearhead's owner, whose name was Kaheen, and we spoke with him, and it was revealed that this spearhead was owned by Jarik of old, who is apparently one of the most notable Varu chieftains this tribe has had. And Kaheen informed us that he believes that the reason why Zlat had the spearhead next to him when he died was that it's revealed that Zlat was actually a supporter of Sovine. Sovine, even though she appears old, has not been chief for very long. There's been a recent change in authority, and so she has become the new chief as of recent. Okay, and Zlat was one of her supporters. So it seems like there's a political divide in this tribe of Varu. Okay, and so Kaheen believes that Zlat stole the spearhead that belonged to Kaheen in order to legitimize Sovine's chieftainship. Okay, because I guess having this spearhead that was owned by the best chief that's ever been maybe would get her more support, more political support. I mean, we do know that this tribe of Varu is a tribe of raiders and war, lots of territory disputes, so I could see how that may um, sway some more supporters of her chieftainship. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So we've investigated the first murder crime scene. That was Zlot. We noticed that the way Zlot was murdered, and presumably the way all the others were murdered, that's also still mysterious. We don't know how it's happening. Zlot was covered in blood. His fur had a bunch of dried blood patches, but we didn't see any wounds whatsoever. So we don't know how he died. That's a question that we might want to answer. I think what we're going to focus on, just to give myself some goals, is we need to figure out the how, why, and who. Obviously, the who is the main goal. That's what the vow that we took kind of surrounds. But we can also think about the how and the why. We don't know how it's happening, okay, and we also don't know why. I think Albrun's current theory is that this political divide that's in the Varu tribe might have something to do with this, okay? Zlat was a supporter of Sovine, and I guess we need to actually figure out all the other murderers, or all the other murder victims, were they supporters of Sovine? Okay, so that could be interesting. So, okay, I think that's all the clues that we have so far. Kaheen also, the reason why Kaheen believes that Sovine is a false chief is because she did not present herself to the Varu gods for judgment. Apparently, that's like a whole ritual kind of thing that they do, and she didn't do it for whatever reason. So that might be something that we want to ask her about. So where we left off last session is Albrun was actually using the sight that he has being of Scold blood. He was able to look into the veil. Okay, remember what I said way back when in the early parts of this campaign, that the veil is kind of what separates the reality of the Ironlands from the Shadow Realm. And so like the veil is kind of the in between, and that's, magic blah blah blah, okay? But Albrun was piercing the veil, okay? And he was looking at the spearhead, and it had this weird like pale yellowish gold aura around it, and there was actually a little bit of a trail of just like essence, of like yellow essence, that was leading us to Sovin's tent. Okay, so that's where we are right now. So I think we're gonna just hop right into it. And I think Albrun, you remember he's accompanied by what's her name? Neda? Yeah, Neda, the raider, the Varu raider. She's just been kind of following Albrun, not necessarily like watching him per se. She's just kind of the one that's like accompanying him as he's investigating. So he's still in good standing with Sovine, but I don't know how that's gonna go after we go into this tent, because I feel like we're gonna have to ask her some serious questions. So Albrun is gonna go ahead and make his way into this like TP made out of leather. You can tell it's a little ornate. There's a lot of bone trophies and a nice campfire in the middle. Sovine is there, I would say, probably with maybe some other Varu. I would say maybe these Varu are frustrated and they're trying to convince her to allow at least one hunt or something. They're starving, but of course she's going to say no. The rite of bloodletting must be pure. It's the only way the gods will what's the word? Bring justice. Help us bring justice to these murders, okay? And so I think those Varu that were in there are going to kind of leave quite grumpy, not very happy with this, but they can't go against their chief's word. And she's going to address Albrun as we enter, and she's going to ask him, what have you found so far? Any headway? That kind of thing. And Albrun is going to go ahead and, okay, how are we going to play this? Should we just confront her? Because I think we need a... You know what? Why don't we... Before we address her, we're going to use the sight really quick. And I'm going to ask the Oracle a question. I want to ask the Oracle, this pale yellow trail of essence that we see that matches the spearhead, I want to see if this essence is connected to Sovine or maybe something in this tent. Okay? And to be honest, I feel like it's a 50-50. I don't think either one of these is more likely than the other. Well, no, I'm going to leave it to 50-50, I think. So I'm going to say 0 to 50. This trail of essence leads us directly to Sovine. And I'm going to say 51 or greater, it's something inside this tent. And we're going to have to just ask the Oracle what that could be. Okay? And we'll probably use the clue thing from Ironsmith to do that if it's an object. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's ask the Oracle. Okay? That is an 81. So it doesn't lead to Sovine. It leads to some sort of object. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the Ironsmith Oracle tables that allow us to kind of generate an object of interest. Okay. So let's see. So this is going to be item of narrative significance. Okay. So let's just roll and see what happens. We're also rolling our action die because it's an Ironsmith table, which kind of requires that. Okay, so it's a 3. Okay, so a 3 on the action die with a... That's a 9. Hastily discarded axe head. Ooh, That's interesting. Okay. So as we enter the tent and Sylvine is asking us, have we made any headway? Where are we at? Albrun's eyes are still like kind of slightly going silver, and his eyes, like as soon as he enters the tent, his eyes quickly follow the trail of this yellow essence, and um we see I'm gonna say a broken axe head. Okay, it's made out of bone and sticks and leather and stuff. And we're gonna see that it's kind of tucked away, I want to say, behind the flap of this TP, as if whoever was trying to get rid of it was like quickly trying to get rid of it before someone came in. And they didn't do a good job. And we can see, and I'm also going to say that this axe head, I wonder if it has blood on it. I'm going to ask the Oracle. I'm going to ask the Oracle if it has blood on it. Because remember, these murders are not happening from like wounds. So I don't even know if this is the murder weapon. Could be, could not be. So I'm gonna say, and you know what? Because we know that these murders are not. We know for a fact all the murders don't have any entry or exit wounds. Okay, so I'm gonna say it's likely that this axe does not have blood on it. Okay, but we know that there is some connection between this spearhead and this axe. Okay, so let's ask the Oracle. So 26 or greater, there's no blood. 0 to 25, there is blood. Okay. 84, there's no blood on the axe head. But again, the essence matches the spearhead. Okay. So let's go ahead and actually jot that down. Okay, so I wonder why they both have the same essence. But before we address that, I think we're gonna go ahead and tell Sovine that we have Albrun has he's investigated the murder scene of Zlat, and he questioned Kahine on this spearhead that he pulls out. And I'm gonna say that when Sylvine sees the spearhead, her expression is gonna like slightly twitch. Okay, and I think Albrun's gonna catch that. So I do think Sylvine is implicated in this. I do. Um, and Albrun's gonna catch that, and he's gonna take note of it. Okay, um, and then he's gonna say, and I also learned that there was a recent change in leadership. You didn't tell me that you were one of the new chief. You were new to this chieftainship. Um, I wouldn't have guessed so. So Fiend is going to say, yes, I am new. I became the chief of the tribe after. And actually, before I finish that, I want to ask the Oracle, was the previous chief murdered? I think I'm going to ask the Oracle that. Is it likely? Okay, what we know from last session, we rolled the Oracle twice, and we also, well, I'm pretty sure we rolled the Oracle twice, and we rolled Major Plot Twist or something like that. And I've had it jotted down that we rolled on the Oracle. First of all, a dark secret is revealed, and we rolled that there was a damaging secret involving local leadership. So we rolled that twice. So I absolutely believe that there is some secret that Sovine is hiding. Okay, so I want to ask the Oracle if this chief was murdered or what, and if not, we'll figure out what happened to him. But I think that could be interesting. So I'm gonna say it's likely that he was murdered. So 26 or greater, he was murdered the same way that everyone else has been murdered. Okay. 45. Yep, he was murdered. So she's gonna say, yes, I became the new chief after our previous one succumbed to the murderer. And it's been quite hectic since. I'm doing my best to keep the tribe together, and that is why the rite of bloodletting must go on until this murderer is brought to justice. Okay, so that's interesting. Let me go ahead and jot that down. Previous chief was murdered. Okay, I think we need to open up a line of questioning with Sovine. And I think Albrun's gonna ask Nada. He's gonna ask Nada. He's gonna say, "May I speak with your chief alone? I have some questions that might be sensitive in nature. Okay, and I think Neda is going to be very hesitant to just leave them alone, but I think Sovine is going to agree. Um, she's a warrior herself. I don't think she's threatened by Albrun at all. Is Albrun? Albrun's not even armed. He's not, because he got captured by the Varu and he was like chained to like a tree or something. So he doesn't even have any weapons. So I think Neda, with hesitation, is going to leave, and that's going to leave Albrun and Sovine in this tent. Okay, and so, I definitely think we're going to do a gather information roll here, but I'm trying to think, what exactly is the question we're asking? Should we just catch her off guard and bring up that axe head that's like very badly hidden behind her? Or should we maybe ask her about let's see, what evidence do we have so far? So we see that axe head. That's something that we need to ask about. Um, we can also ask about her false chieftainship. Okay, that could be something that triggers her, maybe. Yeah, I think. Okay. Okay, we have three things. Let me go ahead and jot down. So we have three things that we need to ask her about. Three things to question Sovine. Okay. So we have the spearhead that she reacted to. Okay. We have axe head behind her. And we have false chieftainship. Okay, so those are the three lines of questioning that I think we should be asking her right now, and just see where that may lead. Okay, so I think the first question I want to ask her is about this false chieftainship. I think that's an easy thing to open with, and we'll just see how honest she is. So I think Albert's gonna straight up ask, Kaheen mentioned to me that many in the tribe believe you are a false chief. Can you tell me more about that? And so let's go ahead and roll gather information and see kind of what the answer to that's gonna be. So this is gather information plus wits. So that's gonna be a +2. 4 on the action die, +2 is a 6 versus a 5 and a 9. So that's a weak hit. On a weak hit, the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover and take 1 momentum. So we're going to go up to 5 momentum. Okay, so this information. So the answer to the question about the false chieftainship is supposed to complicate our quest or introduce a new danger. False chieftainship. Okay, so she's going to say, should I ask I don't know what asking the oracle will do here. Okay, we know why they think she's a false chief. She didn't present herself to the Varu gods. And I don't see why she'd be dishonest about that. So what new thing complicates? Oh, I know why. Okay. She's going to say, yes, there are those within this tribe that believe that I shouldn't have been chief, but the duty fell to me. When one chief dies, the next one is picked with that chief's dying breath. And let's get a name. Let's get a name for this Varu, the previous chief. Okay, I'm curious, just so that we can refer to him as Draco. So Draco was the previous chief. Okay, Draco, previous chief. Okay, and Draco muttered my name before he died. Ooh, that's actually a slip up, and everyone's gonna say, so you were there when he died. And I think that's gonna catch her off guard. And say, yes, I was. Okay, and so now Albrun's gonna say, well, how did it happen? From what I heard, he died He was one of the first murdered. Did you see how the murder went down? Um, I feel like this is an Ask the Oracle right here, because remember, we still need to introduce some new danger or complication uh, to this investigation because of that weak hit. So I think I want to ask the Oracle: Did she actually? Did she actually? You know what? No, no. I'm actually. I don't think I'm gonna ask the Oracle. I don't think I'm gonna ask the Oracle. Because this is supposed to be mysterious death. So if she knew, she would have told us. So she doesn't know. So I'm gonna say, she's gonna say, um, I didn't see it, myself, but I heard him. I heard him mutter my name as he fell, and just he was covered in blood, and we couldn't see any wounds whatsoever that could cause this. Um, which is why you're here. This must be with some foul magic. What else could explain such a method of killing? Okay. Okay. I think we might go ahead and let that line of questioning rest. We just found out who the previous chief was and that he was in fact murdered. So that's interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get anything more from her false chief. Well, um, okay. You know what? No, Albrun's gonna press, and he's gonna say, "Well, I also heard that you failed to present yourself to your gods. That's what they're saying. And I don't think Sovine is gonna be happy to be presented with that claim. Well, I'm just wondering, where do we go from here? I guess we need to find out why. Why didn't she present herself? And I was gonna say, yeah, why is that? Why did you not present yourself to your gods? Clearly, it's a big deal. Um, and so I think we're gonna roll on perhaps action and theme to get an idea of why she may not have why she may not have presented herself to the Varu gods. Why would she skip such a important ceremony in becoming the new chief? 40. Avoid. Ooh, avoid. That was on action. And then theme 74. 74. Avoid ruin. Ooh, I think that actually ties very nicely with whatever damaging secret that she's trying to hide. She didn't want to get exposed. Oh, okay. And I don't think she's gonna answer Albrun truthfully here. I think she's gonna say, "It was not my time to do so. There was more important matters to attend to. Ask me no more questions of this. I am chief of this tribe, and you will respect me as such." Okay, so I think that's pretty aggressive. Okay, so let me go ahead and actually jot down. I think Albrun can tell that she's lying here, so I'm gonna jot that down, and that might be something to investigate. So, okay, so that's interesting. We might have to come back to that. Okay, well, I think we're gonna move on to a new line of questioning, and I think we're gonna confront her about the spearhead, okay? And so Albrun still has this ancient spearhead in his hand, and he's just gonna hold it up. He's gonna say, "What is this to you? I saw the way you looked at it. Clearly, you're familiar with it, and apparently, um, there are those who believe you coveted it. Okay." I think this is. Oh wait, we still didn't resolve that other gather information with something that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say the thing that complicates this vow is that Sovine is lying to us. So I'm gonna say that that's gonna resolve the weak hit on the previous gather information. I kind of want to roll gather information again for this next line of questioning. About this spearhead is Yeah, we're gonna roll gather information. So this is plus wits. We're asking her what this spearhead means to her, and we straight up told her that that there are, we know that she, we know that there are those who believe she wants this spearhead, and we saw the way she looked at it. Okay, so this is gather information plus 2. 6 on the action die plus 2 is 8 versus a 6 and a 10. Another weak hit. Okay, so yes, on a weak hit, the information complicates our quest or introduces a new danger. Take 1 momentum. Okay, so we're at 6 momentum here. And I think she's going to continue to lie. Okay, so what it sounds like to me, this complication is Sovine definitely seems implicated in whatever is going on here. And so she's going to say, that spearhead, it means nothing to me. It doesn't belong to me. Well, no. It's a prized artifact of this tribe. Kaheen and his family owns it. But he doesn't take very good care of it. Give it to me, and I will see it returned to its proper place. I don't know why Zlat may have had it. I think Albrun is just going to give it to her because I think we're going to want to see what she does with it. If she's actually planning on returning it or... So I think Albrun's just going to hand it over. I mean, we told Kaheen that we'd be keeping it, so he doesn't know we're giving it to Sovine. But I think we're just going to give it to Sovine. Albrun's interested in finding out why she wants it. She clearly does, okay? So we're going to give it. We give her the spearhead, okay? And she quickly tucks it away in her little like leather skirt kilt thing that she wears, okay? I think it's time to address that axe head. It's connected to the spearhead. So clearly there's something going on there. How do we go about this? Do we just straight up call it out, or do we just straight up call it out, or what? How are we gonna do this? I don't know. I think we're just gonna call it out. And so finally, Albrun is gonna tilt his head and look right behind her, and he's just gonna point. He's gonna say, "And just one more question. What is that?" Do we roll gather information? Yeah, let's roll gather information. So this is plus 2. Gather information plus 2. So another gather information. 3 on the action die plus 2 is a 5 versus a 3 and a 6. Another weak hit. Oh my god. So take another momentum. We're at 7. And this is supposed to complicate our investigation. And I think I know how it's going to complicate our investigation. She's going to look at where we pointed, and you can just tell that she is very agitated and that we were not supposed to see that. And she quickly... I mean, she's not going to try to kick it out of the way. We clearly saw it. She knows we saw it, so she has no choice but to... Wonder if she's going to act like... You know what? I think she's going to act like she doesn't know what it is, but clearly she does. And so she's going to pick it up. It's a broken axe head made out of some sort of bone from some prey. Again, it's bounded to some wood by, leather strips. She's gonna pull it out from behind that flap, and she's gonna look at it like surprised, fake surprise, really. And she's gonna say, "I don't know. What is this? I will have to ask our weapons master." Broken accent. I don't know. I have no idea, Albrun. And she clearly wants us to go, I think. And I think Albrun is just gonna... So let me go ahead and jot that down, that she lies about that. So that's gonna be the complication. She's a liar, okay? Okay, and so Albrun's gonna say, okay, never mind then. I will go continue to investigate. I think I'm gonna go see if I can gather more information on the other victims and see if there's any connections there. And Sylvine is gonna say, uh, take Nayla with you. She will get you anything you require that's within our power. Okay, so we're gonna leave the tent. Okay, that was very interesting questioning her. So what do we get from that? We now know she's a liar. Okay, so we know that she wanted that spearhead. Okay, and we gave it to her. And so I kind of want to actually tail her. I don't think I want to go look at the other victims. I think I want to tail her and see if she's going to I think she's going to go somewhere and I want to see what she's going to do with that spearhead. Okay? So that's information we got from that. We also found out something's up with this axe head. She just didn't tell us what it is. We have no idea what it is, but we know that there's some connection between the spearhead and the axe head. Okay, I wonder what it could be. And then again with the false chieftainship, she wouldn't tell us why she wouldn't present herself to their gods. We don't know why. We rolled on the oracle that it was to avoid ruin, but Albrun has no idea why. So we left, I think, with more questions than what we went in with. But that's pretty interesting. Okay, so I think our next step is we need to lose Nada. Okay, we need to get separated from her because if we want to go follow Sovine without Sovine knowing that, we can't have Nada tailing us. We gotta somehow get her off of us. Sounds like we need to do a trick. Okay, so I think let's go with that. Let's go with how we were gonna go try to investigate the other bodies. I think why don't we try to ask Nada if she can go well, why don't we ask that might be a little too convenient. We need to ask her if we can go see the other bodies and find out. I don't know what the Varu's burial rites are like, if they bury their dead, if they burn their dead, if they keep their dead in all one place, because I don't know. Um, how do we go about this? I want to get her off of us. I want to see if maybe. Let's ask her. Let's ask her this. Let's see if we can compel her. This is going to be a compel, okay? Let's see if we can compel her and try to instruct her to go gather all the eyewitnesses or um all the eyewitness or not eyewitnesses but all the people who discovered the dead bodies because no one's seen how the murders happened. So there are no eyewitnesses, but people have found the bodies to report the murders. So we're going to go see if she can go find all the people who found the bodies. So let's compel and see if she's going to buy that, okay? See if she's going to leave us alone for a little bit. That would definitely buy us some time, I think. So let's compel. And this is a trick, okay? We're doing this. We're swindling her, okay? We're trying to trick her into leaving us alone so that we have time to go tail Sovine. And I'm going to even say that we can see Sovine leaving the tent now. So we need to get on her tail now. So this is going to be compel plus shadow because we're trying to swindle. And we are going to go ahead and utilize our trickster asset. We're trying to trick Nada into this. So we're going to add a +1 to this compel. Yeah, I think that's it. So this is compel +4. Okay, compel +4. 5 on the action die +4 is a 9 versus a 7 and a 3. On a strong hit, they'll do what you want, share what they know, take 1 momentum. We're at 8. And if you use this exchange to gather information, make that roll. We're not gathering information right after this. We're going to go tail Sovine. So Nada is going to agree. Her chief had instructed her to do everything in her power to help our investigation. So she's not even going to put up much of a fight. She's going to say, yes, I will go find all of them. And so she's going to go around the Varu tribe just collecting as many of the, again, not eyewitnesses, but all of the people who discovered the dead bodies so that we can talk to them, okay? So she's going to go ahead and do that. And we are going to go ahead and follow Sovine. So I want to go ahead and roll face danger plus shadow because we're going to try to tail her and be very hidden. We don't want her to know that we're following. Um, so yeah, this sounds like a face danger plus shadow to me. This is a risky thing we're doing. Because she's a Varu warrior. She has good scent of smell, that kind of thing. So we just need to figure out if we're gonna even be able to successfully like trail her. Okay. So this is face danger plus shadow. So face danger plus 3. Okay, and I don't think I can add any other modifiers. Nope. So face danger plus 3. 4 on the action die plus 3 is a 7 versus a 2 and a 3. Strong hit on that face danger. Okay, so that means, so on a strong hit when you face danger, you are successful. Take 1 momentum up to 9. Okay. Our momentum is doing great. Okay. And we're just straight up successful. So we are going to be able to follow Savine to wherever she's going. So I think now we need to ask the Oracle. Let's see. Let me check the Ironsmith Oracle and see if there is. I think there is a location oracle for these mysteries. So we have items of significance. We have culprit's past location. I don't think that's what I'm looking for here. I don't know. I don't know if there's a proper I don't know if there's a proper table for this. So what about what about location descriptor? What about location and then location descriptor to determine where we're following her to? I think that's what I might go with. So, and we'll see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, we'll just keep rolling. So first we're going to roll on location descriptor. Okay. And that is a 85. So 85 peaceful. Okay, peaceful. And then actual location is 44. Peaceful pass. Okay. So it seems like Sylvain is she's in a hurry to go wherever she's going, and I don't think any of the other Varu are actually bothering her as she's making her way out of the camp. And we are tailing her, okay? And we're tailing her very well. We're keeping a lot of distance. We're like looking to where she goes. We're quickly following, but we aren't making a single sound. And we're just kind of staying hidden, and she doesn't even realize that we're following her, okay? And so we make our way through. So we're still in the deep wilds, okay? So there's trees everywhere. The Varu tribe, it was in a clearing, and so now we're in the tree line. So we're kind of having to go through trees. We're having to be very careful, making sure that we aren't stepping on branches or like underbrush or leaves or anything like that. Okay, and Sovine arrives to, I'm gonna say, a new smaller clearing, and it's actually between 2 cliff faces. Okay, so there's like trees, but like there's like some cliffs, or not cliffs. I don't feel like there's a lot of cliffs in the deep wilds. More like kind of. I'm gonna say boulders, huge boulders, 2 huge boulders next to each other, with a really thick tree line around it, and through the boulders, it's pretty clear. Okay, there's no trees in the way, so you can just kind of walk right between them. So this is a pass. Okay, and I want to say that this might even be. You know what? And so she goes through these 2 boulders, and we follow her. And on the other side of these 2 boulders is another clearing, and it's quite an interesting clearing. It's definitely a place of religious significance. Okay, so the trees around the clearing are like there's like strings of like bones, of again of prey, um, trinkets, talismans, like kind of strung between the tree lines. And in the center of this clearing, I'm gonna say, um, you know what? Hold on, let me retcon something. As Sylvine was leaving the central tribe area, she went to the center where everyone was doing the rite of bloodletting, and you know, I think it happens daily. Everyone cuts their arm daily to put the blood. So she's delivering this blood to this place. She picked up like the ceremonial bowl. It's kind of big. She has to carry it with a whole arm. So she has that with her. And so in the center of the clearing, she puts this bowl down, and there's some sort of like statue. It's like an animalistic statue, clearly something that depicts a Varu, but it's clearly a Varu of significance. Okay, and that I'm gonna say that. Okay, so we know that there's a damaging secret. Let me take a look at my notes. We know that there's a damaging secret. We know that she's been lying, and we know that for some reason she wouldn't present herself to her gods. This is clearly a religious place. I wonder if this is a place where she was supposed to present herself to her gods. Um, and she didn't want to avoid ruin. So I think what she's gonna do here is she's going to pour this bowl of blood over the statue, over the miniature statue that's in the center of this clearing. Okay. And I think that she is going to kneel before it after doing that. She's going to set the bowl down and kneel before the statue. And she's going to start talking to it. And she's going to say, see, what would they call their gods? Would their gods have a name? Maybe it's one single god. Let me take a look at the oracle tables and let me take a look at the oracle tables and see. Let's see Varu names. Let's see. Radlak, the Varu god. So let me jot that down. Radlak, Varu god. Okay, and she's gonna say, "Great Radlak, I have given the blood of the tribe to you as we ask for your guidance in bringing justice." And she's gonna pause a little bit after that and swallow, and then continue and say, "We have found one of the magic men of those Ironlanders, and he is investigating these murders. I ask that you guide him to the truth and to a way to help us all." Okay, so that's a little ominous right there. Okay, and she's then going to pull out that spearhead. She's going to pull out the spearhead, and she also has that broken axe head in her hand. Okay, and she's going to say, "Show him the way to rid us of this curse." Okay, that's what I'm going to go with. There's a curse. And so she's laying these two weapons. She's laying these two weapons on the altar, and I think she's going to continue to pray. Okay, and then I think what's going to happen is she's going to get up. Okay, she's going to pick up those two weapons. She's going to pick up the now empty ceremonial bowl, and now she's going to make her way back to the tribe. Okay, and Albrun's going to successfully stay hidden in the tree thicket, and he's going to wait a little bit, let her get ahead, and then he's also going to go back to the tribe. Okay, and I say she's going to make her way to the weapon master. That weapon master that we mentioned earlier. It's another tent, not as ornate as hers, but it's a tent, a teepee, whatever. And she goes in there, And we can kind of see through the flaps. The flaps are open, and we can see that she hands um, the broken spearhead to this weapon master, who, this Baru that's in charge of making, crafting, repairing weapons. Um, I wonder, does she give him the spearhead? Let's ask the Oracle. I actually don't know. I'm going to say 50-50. 0 to 50, she does not give him the spearhead. 51 or greater, she gives him the spearhead. Okay. So let's see. That's an 80 or 65. She does give him the spearhead. So we see her hand both of those. And it's quite interesting that both of them are like heads of a broken weapon. But she hands it to the weapon master. And we can see them exchange some words, but we can't hear whatever was said. And I'm going to say that the weapon master, I'm going to say that the weapon master has, no, I don't think the Varu would have chests or anything like that. I think the weapon master is going to take those two things, and he is now going to leave the central area of the tribe. And I don't think we're going to roll face danger again. I think we're doing a pretty good job at tailing these Varu. So, yeah, we're going to follow the weapon master. It looks like Sovine just went back to her tent. We're going to go see where this weapon master is taking these two weapons. So, let's go ahead and roll again on location descriptor and location and kind of see where we're going next. Okay, so 21 Grim. Okay, that's interesting. 21 Grim. 81 Coast. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to re-roll that. 42 Rapids. That makes a little bit. Okay, Coast Rapids. Okay, something to do with water. Okay, so we're going to follow this weapon master, okay? And he's going to go into the tree thicket, and we're going to, just follow where he steps so that we're not breaking any branches or anything like that, not making any noise. And we're going to see him come into a place that has, okay, so it's near a river. Okay, it's a roaring river. This river is a very powerful river. Okay. But here in this river, next to it, yep, next to the coast is a bunch of like boulders and stuff. The river is surrounded by like pebbles, boulders, that kind of thing. And we're gonna see this weapon master. He's going to move one boulder aside, and beneath that boulder was a hole, and he's going to toss those. He's gonna, well, not toss. He's gonna place the spearhead and the axe head into this hole, and then move the boulder back over. Okay. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. Okay, and then he's going to make his way back to camp. And we aren't. We're going to stay here. And I want to find out what is under that boulder. We know that he just put those two weapons down there, but I want to see if there's anything else. Now, I can imagine Albrun is not strong enough to move that boulder. Avaru just did it. So I don't even think we're going to attempt to roll anything plus iron to try to move this boulder. We can't. And I don't think Invoke can help us here. So I think that what we have to do here is we need to go get Neda and try to swindle her into moving this boulder for us, okay? Or what about, and you know what? I don't even know, well, could Neda do it herself? What about Kaheen? Okay, first let's go try Neda. You know what? No, actually, let's not try Neda yet, because she's going to tell anything and everything that we do to Sovine. I'm sure of it. Remember, we rolled that her descriptor was dependent. She's dependent on Sovine. She has that dependent personality. So I think that she's a liability. Kaheen, though, Kaheen doesn't like Sovine. So I think we can convince Kaheen into helping us. And to be honest, I don't even think we need to compel him. I think we'll... Yep, I know exactly what we're going to do. You know what? So yeah, the weapon master makes his way back to the tribe. Albrun again waits a few minutes to let him get ahead, and he now goes back to the tribe. and we're gonna go find Kaheen in this tribe. You know, Kaheen is sitting there with his brethren, like how we found him the first time, and we're going to ask him to come aside. He will, and then we're gonna talk to him. And Albrun is gonna say, Kaheen, I gave your spearhead to Sovine. And Kaheen's gonna say, what? Why would you do that? You said you were keeping it for your investigation. And Albrun's gonna say, yes, that's exactly why I gave it to her. I followed her, and she gave your spearhead to the weapon master, or to your weapons man, or whatever they call themselves. And I followed him and saw him put it along with another suspicious item in a hole covered by a boulder that I cannot move. Can you come with me and move the boulder so that we can see what there is to see? And I think we're not even going to compel, because I don't see why Kaheen wouldn't want to do this. He wants his spearhead back, and he also wants to find out what suspicious activity is going on. So we're not even going to roll. He's going to agree, and we're going to go. And so Albrun leads Kaheen back through the tree line. They make sure that they're not really seen by anyone, and they go ahead and go back to this roaring river. And Albrun points out the rock that he saw the weapon master move, and I think Kaheen is, he's a young Baru warrior. He's also able to move this huge boulder that Albrun didn't even want to attempt to do with himself. And so now we're gonna go ahead and gather some information and see what is revealed in that hole. We already know 2 things that are in the hole. I want to know what else. Well, is this a gather information? Yeah, I think this is a gather information. I think it is. I think this is a gather information. Is it? I think it is. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's a gather information. Let's go with a clue. Let's make it a clue. I think we'll make it a I think we will make it a I think we can make it a what kind of clue? Not a narrative item of significance. I don't think so. I think I'm going to roll on the clue table. We're going to roll on the clue table. We're going to make it, yeah. Let's do that. Because I don't think we need to gather information here. Because whatever's in here, we're going to see it. So first we roll a d6 to find out what the clue relates to. A 4. Why it was committed. So whatever we are about to see is going to relate to why these murders were committed. That's interesting. Okay, and now we're going to roll a d100. Let's see, 77. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to do a d1. It's supposed to do another d6. Whoops. 3. Lust. Lust. That's confusing. So, okay, so the boulders move, and both Albrun and Kaheen look into the hole. And you know what? I'm going to say what's inside the hole is it is a pile of broken weapons. So just more axes, spears, swords, broken bows, broken arrows. All of it's just a pile of weapons that are clearly broken. Okay, and so this is interesting here. Okay, why that thing was committed because of lust? I don't know if that makes sense. I might just throw that out because you know what? I'm going to throw out that second roll, the lust roll, because it just doesn't make sense to me. But we're going to keep the why it was committed role. So whatever this information is gonna give us a clue to why something was committed, okay? And so I think Albrun is gonna. I'm very confused here. I'm very confused. So these are weapons. So it's a pile of weapons. Well, you know what? I think I know what this is. Okay, so Kaheen is also going to be very confused, but he's going to go ahead and get his spearhead back. And I'm just going to say keep it. And they're going to go ahead and. Well, you know what? Before Kaheen covers up the hole again, Albrun is going to use the sight really quick, pierce the veil, and he's going to see that all of these broken weapons have that same yellow essence surrounding them. Okay? And he's going to take note of that. Okay? And so Kaheen is going to move the boulder back over this pile of broken weapons, and they're going to make their way back into the tribe. Okay? And I think when they go ahead and make their way back in, Nada is actually going to be looking for Albrun, and she's going to find him, and she's going to say, where did you go? I found the other, I found all of the ones who found the murdered corpses. Okay, and I was gonna say thank you. I was just following another lead, but it didn't pan out to anything. Can you take me to these people? And so Nada is gonna go ahead and lead Albrun to an area within this central clearing where I would say quite a few Varu are there awaiting questioning. And I think Albrun is just going to very quickly talk to all of them, kind of one to one, and he's going to ask them all the same questions like, where did you find the body? What did it look like when you found it? And what was around it? And so all of these Varu are all going to say, they found the bodies, every single one of these bodies, blood covered them, no obvious wounds, they're dead. But the common string between every single one of these Varu's accounts is that they all found broken weapons next to the bodies. Whether that's an axe head, whether it's a broken sword, whether it's an arrow split in half, a bow snapped in half. They just found broken weapons next to these bodies. And so that's definitely making the wheels in Albrun's head turn. Okay? So I think that we can reasonably assume that the cause of. And we're going to think back to what Sylvine said when she was in that clearing pouring the blood over that statue, talking about some. Hopefully, this magic man can help us with the curse. I'm going to say Albrun is going to kind of connect the dots here and determine that there must be cursed weapons at work. Some of these weapons are clearly being used to murder people, but they aren't leaving wounds. And there's some weird magical essence with all these weapons that have been used to kill people. Okay? So I think we found out the how cursed weaponry is being used to kill people. But we haven't figured out where these cursed weapons are or where these cursed weapons are coming from. So I don't know if we can say that we entirely figured out the how, because we don't know where these cursed weapons are coming from, what their origins are, why they're cursed. And we still don't know the why. We still don't know why people are getting murdered. What Albrun's going to ask all of these witnesses is who these murder victims were. How do they know them? And so I'm not going to go through every single murder victim. That's going to take too long. But I'm going to ask the Oracle, were all of these murder victims supporters of Sylvine or not? So that's just a simple yes or no. So I'm going to say 51 or greater is a yes. 50 or less is a no. Okay. I'm just wondering if this is somehow politically motivated. 83. All of the murder victims were supporters of Sovine. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Let me jot that down. Let me jot down some conclusions that we have arrived to. Okay, so information we gained from this questioning was that we found out every single murder victim was politically aligned with Sovine, okay, supported her chieftainship, and every single murder victim was found with a broken weapon that Sovine, for some reason, is in communication with the weapon master who is hiding these supposedly cursed weapons. We know that there's some weird magic involved with this, and we can assume that this weird magic is what's allowing these murder victims to be murdered without any obvious wounds. Okay? Why would Sovine? I don't know. I'm thinking Sovine might have something to do with the murders, but if every single one of the murders have been people that support her, I'm just a little curious about why that is. Okay. So this is definitely interesting. And we haven't made any significant progress at all about figuring out, well, uncover the mysterious murders in the Varu tribe. You know what? We found the murder weapons, okay? So I'm going to say that that is actually, I'm going to say that that is significant progress. We found the murder weapons, so we know how the murders are happening, okay? We know how the murders are happening, and we made the connection that all the victims are Sovine supporters. So we figured out the how. We still don't know the why, and we still don't know the who, but we know the how. So I'm gonna mark progress on this vow because we figured out the how, and I feel like that's pretty significant. Okay, so that's 2 boxes. So we are at 6 boxes on that vow. So we figured out the how. Now we need to find out the who and the why. So who's committing these murders, and why are they murdering Sovine supporters? Okay, I'm very curious. But I think we're going to go ahead and end the session there, and figure out those 2 questions next session. All right, thanks for listening.